All right. We'll let Coach get us started.
Okay. All in all, it's great to get back in the win column. As we touched on Saturday night, thought our kids played hard. Thought we minimized the big play from Cal, which was important. Unfortunately, until the fourth quarter there, where they had the big run. But all in all, we kept the ball in front of us. We tackled better. I thought offensively, we created explosive plays, which is a big part of what we need to do offensively to make us the complete offense that we need to be. And we had some explosive plays in the run game and the passing game. Thought Bishop was tremendous again, just an unbelievable workhorse that he is. Thought Travis Coons had an excellent night for us in all three phases. Thought Jadon Mickens, obviously the numbers bear it, but played extremely well. I thought Holy Kikaha had a tremendous game, and this guy's having a great season so far, and he's really improving as the year's gone on. He's got 6 sacks now on the year. He's got quarterback hurries. He's playing at a high level. So all in all, it's good for us to get back to the win column. There's plenty of things for us to work on in this bye week. Obviously emphasizing our young players in developing them. It is midterms for us this week, so having our guys focus on school and getting that stuff done for them on that end of it, and then getting healthy. We're a little bit nicked up right now, a little bit beat up, and to get ourselves fresh and ready for the fourth quarter of the season and the stretch of the season, which we really believe all 4 winnable ball games, but ball games that we're going to have to prepare for extremely well, and then ultimately go out and perform.
Steve, what's the latest on Kasen?
He's got an MRI this afternoon. He's scheduled for surgery tomorrow. We'll be able to kind of talk more specifically after the surgery, and after the MRI, and then ultimately after the surgery where he's at. But to Kasen's credit, he's in good spirits. He came to Coach James' service yesterday, was with the team today, and he'll take it like a champion. He'll do whatever we need him to do to get healthy, and he'll be back.
If he was to get back for the season, would it be the whole game?
I don't know exactly. I would imagine so, but I'm hesitant to talk on specifics until the doctors get it.
Sark, can you give us an injury update on the rest of the players?
We're just banged up. It's nothing, serious injury-wise. We're just a banged-up team right now. And, we had a physical run of teams that we went up against that it's taking its toll. We got some quad contusions, we got some shoulder bruises, we've got some calf strains, quad strains. So we just got all kind of things that the whole spectrum of injuries. I don't really want to call them injuries because I think if we were playing Saturday, the majority of those guys could play and would play. But it's a great time for us based on injuries and the bumps and bruises that we have to get healthy so that we're ready for the stretch run.
Outside of Kasen, is there anyone else that might be ruled out for Colorado already?
Not that I'm aware of.
How do you look at, obviously you don't have a game this week. What will this week look like for your team?
It'll look like developing our younger players, working with those guys, focusing on a few new schemes that we're going to need to have ready for the fourth quarter, and getting fresh, getting healthy. I mean, it's not so much different than what other bye weeks have looked like for us. It's focusing on the young guys, continue to develop them, making sure that we're sound in special teams, any schemes that we might want to work on there, and then giving the guys time to really focus on their schoolwork. This is a pivotal moment in their quarter with the midterms to get themselves ready for their midterms and then do well in school. So there's a lot that goes on. I think so many times we focus on just their athletic performance, but they have an academic performance that they do a great job with as well, and as well as their personal lives. So this is a good time for us to have a bye week to kind of get refocused and then come back really energized, ready to go next Monday.
With Kasen out, you feel obviously a receiver, you're going to have some different name in there.
Yeah, I think,
but he was a backup also on the punt returns and some other things. He gave you some stability.
he really did. Casen's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but this is a great opportunity to expand Jadon's role, to expand John Ross's role, for Damari Stringfellow to really try to take the next step. I think what we saw Marvin Hall in the punt return game has an opportunity to do some special things for us. So we've got good depth at the position. We'll miss him because he's a great player, but we've got good depth.
The play that you got here on Steve, that was the time to put it down the field. That was the back there.
Yeah, I could have gone a little further down the field, but it's a play that Kasen routinely makes. That we're grown accustomed to him jumping up and making those plays. It was just an odd play where the defensive back landed right on the back of his leg. With all the force caused obviously the break in the leg and then the injury to the foot.
Steve, I know post-game you talked a little bit about that. Keith mentioned he thought he could have thrown it in such a way where the injury didn't occur. Have you gotten a chance to talk to him since and kind of give him a better perspective on the not feeling maybe guilty for the injury?
Yeah, that's just Keith. That's his mentality. He's always one to take the blame and give the praise. And so I don't need to talk to him so specifically that way about it. It's his personality, and that's what makes Keith a great teammate, and that's why his teammates respect him so much. He'll always look for the little things where he can improve, and he's quick to take the blame when things don't go great. He's quick to give praise when things do go well to the other guys. So that's why he's a great leader for our football team.
Does he rest any more this week than the starting quarterback usually does during
No, it'll be the same. He looks great.
Steve, you've had 1,000 yards rushing every year you've been here now. This is, I think, the first time in school history, 5th year in a row. Is that what you imagined when you took over, that you would have that kind of dominance back in your backfield, or is that something that kind of maybe just matured with the personnel down here?
I've always had a firm belief in running the football, and that comes from Pete, quite honestly, of our time in SC. We were always a run-first team then, and we're a run-first team now. I know we always want to keep labeling me as a passing guy, but every year we sure know how to run the football pretty well, and we're doing a great job of it right now. And I think for as much of the criticism the offensive line took 2 weeks ago after the Arizona State game, they came out and really produced some big-time holes for Bishop to run through, and then Bishop capitalized on it. So we're running the football well, and we're going to need to. When you win in November in this conference, you have to be able to run the football, especially playing up here, because the weather and the elements, you never know what you're going to get. So you have to have a strong foundation and run the ball. And we obviously have the talent to do it with the back that we have and the offensive line. We've got to make sure our schemes are correct and in order so that we can continue to do it here against good football teams down the stretch.
And then with 5 games to go, you moved to the bowl games, hopefully. Bishop has a great shot at breaking Corey Miller's record. Did you kind of envision that type of career for him when you signed him, or is this even maybe a bit of a surprise to you?
Well, we knew he was a good player. You never know in recruiting. I think, I don't know. I think Bob had mentioned it on the radio show the other night when he asked Don James on signing day, what do you think of this class? And he'd say, ask me in 4 years. I think that's true with all these guys. We sign them and they have all the accolades and all the stars and all the stuff, but you never really know on how guys mature and how they take it all on. And Bishop has just been, he's been a pro since the day he's got here. And I think back to the drop kickoff at Nebraska where they get along the 1 yard line, and we didn't give up on him, and he didn't give up on himself. And now we have a guy who's, arguably might be the MVP of our conference, or at least he's in the discussion of it, and deservedly so.
Sark, how would you characterize the confidence of the offensive line today compared to a week ago?
I think it's better. I think if you ask Coach Gazzetto, he'll give you a little better description of how the offensive line played this weekend as opposed to last. I think that they performed well. I think more guys played. I think James Matteau got an opportunity to play. Jimmy Elkingham got the ball game. So we've got good depth. I think that there's always things for us to work on, and we'll continue to, because we have some pretty good defensive fronts that we're going to be going up against here in the last month of the season that we're going to have to perform well up front offensively to have the production and the efficiency on the offensive side of the ball that's going to be needed to win those games.
Earlier, you went through a stretch where there were quantity of penalties was pretty double digit several games. That's kind of trended the other way a little bit, or it's not as noticeable as scheduled. Any special outstanding coaching, guys more focused?
I'd like to give myself credit for that, but unfortunately, it's just an emphasis. It's just us talking about it, trying to learn from one another. We obviously had a couple big ones on kickoff return the other night that negated a touchdown and negated a long return, so we have to continue to improve.
What specifically did the offensive line do?
I just think they executed, they communicated well. They blocked the runs the way that they were capable of blocking them with the right schemes, the right communication, the right technique. And I think their effort was good. I think sometimes when you get some momentum, you get some confidence, all of a sudden your effort gets a little bit better. You finish plays a little bit better, you finish your pass protection a little bit better, you strain to finish to allow that quarterback to get the throw off, and I think that was pivotal on a couple of deep touchdown passes by Keith.
A lot of Jadon receptions this year have been balls screen plays for his first stuff. Why was he able to get downfield and get those plays?
We had some pretty favorable matchups with him one-on-one on safeties, and Jadon can really run. You know, we see that in the short game, but he got opportunities down the field on these safeties one-on-one, and Keith recognized it and got on the ball. You know, and Jadon made his plays.
Is it natural to think that maybe Austin's going to get 4 looks down with Kasen out? Maybe he's going to.
We're going to run our
up the
offense.
point.
We've never tried to get anybody the ball. We're going to run our plays, and the quarterback's going to throw it to where the reads tell him to throw it. You know? We have this discussion every week, but we're going to run our offense.
Good. How does your bye week change the defensive job here with how you do it or with the ball?
We've got more depth now, you know, Greg. I think we have the opportunity to really develop our younger players. I mean, we have quite a few freshmen that are either redshirting or just, you know, producing on special teams that we know are going to be players down the road for us. So the emphasis on those guys has gradually increased as our bye weeks have come. Where early on it was just try to get healthy and get ready for the next week. Now there's a real emphasis placed on those guys and developing them to get them prepared for their playing time down the road.
What is the criteria you use as a head coach and your coordinators use? You get late in the game, you got what appears to be a comfortable lead. When you start feeding in backups, take the starters out.
Well, we try to do it gradually. You try to get yourself in a position where you always try to expect the unexpected. You know, a touchdown, an onside kick, okay, then another touchdown, a tipped interception. All those things can factor in. So you start to gradually put guys in. You're monitoring the rep count of your players on offense and defense. If you've been in there the most, that you could get some rest time.